Good morning. It's Sunday, July 19th, 2020. I'm Philip Bourdon. I'll be your facilitator, and our performer-singer will be Jet Downey, and our speaker will be Maryann Hackworth. And our first song is I Dreamed of Rain.
I dreamed of rain, and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain, and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of summer, and the winds changed, and the green was easy, and the rivers ran clear. I dreamed of summer, and the winds changed, and peace spread over the land. And the flowers bloom in the desert, and the air is fresh and clear. I dreamed of rain, and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of freedom, and the moon rose, and the way was easy, and the path was clear. I dreamed of freedom, and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. And the guardian stars are shining, and the night is bright and clear. I dreamed of freedom, and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of heaven, and the earth sang, and the sound was easy, and the song was clear. I dreamed of heaven, and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. And the flowers bloom in the desert, and the air is fresh and clear. I dreamed of rain, and the rains came, and peace spread over the land.
Unity began over 100 years ago, and it incorporates all sorts of spiritual history and principles, and we love to focus on the positive and practical, that God is expressed in us and as us, and we love that, and we want to focus on that today. And we have a vision and a mission. Our vision is that we envision a spiritually awakened world flowing with divine love. And our mission statement is we're an inclusive, loving community dedicated to teach, inspire, and practice positive spiritual living. And so, Spirit, thank you for your presence that's never away or apart from us, always in us and around us, through other people, through circumstances, and especially right here, right now. Take whatever anxieties and fears that we have, open our minds to trust, encourage and lift our spirits, then we can truly feel more an expression of God in us and as us. And so it is. And our next song, a popular song, True Colors.
You with the sad eyes. Don't be discouraged, oh, I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it, and the darkness inside you makes you feel so small. But I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful like a rainbow. Show me your smile then. Don't be unhappy, can't remember when I last saw you laughing. If this world makes you crazy and you're taking all you can bear, just call me up, because you know I'll be there. And I'll see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful like a rainbow. Such sad eyes. Take courage now and realize, when this world makes you crazy and you're taking all you can bear, just call me up, because you know I'll be there. And I'll see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors, true colors are shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid, just let them show your true colors. True colors, true colors, true colors are beautiful like a rainbow.
Thank you, Jet, for a beautiful song. We have a simple ceremony we light, what we call a Christ candle, referring to Christ consciousness, one that's in all of us and always available and very simple, like lighting a candle. If we're out of sorts, we can light a candle inside our heart and spirit and experience that Christ consciousness. Our unity principles. God is the source and creator of all. There is no other enduring power. God is good and present everywhere. We are spiritual beings created in God's image. The Spirit of God lives within each person. Therefore, all people are inherently good. We create our life experiences through our way of thinking. Through prayer and meditation, we increase our conscious contact with God, bringing forth love, wisdom, health, prosperity, and everything good. Knowledge of these spiritual principles is not enough. We must live them. And our affirmation, I'll say 3 times together, or well, yes, if you see that on the screen, together. I am renewed and restored as I converse with God, the source within me. I am renewed and restored as I converse with God, the source within me. I am renewed and restored as I converse with God, the source within me. And now our next song, The Abundance Blessing.
I give thanks for the abundance in my life. I give thanks for the abundance in my life. I give thanks for the abundance as Spirit flows among us. I give thanks for the abundance in my life. I give thanks for all the bounty in my life. I give thanks for all the bounty in my life. I give thanks for all the bounty as the love of God surrounds me. I give thanks for all the bounty in my life. I give thanks for all the treasure in my life. I give thanks for all the treasure in my life. I give thanks for all the treasure. Giving back is such a pleasure. I give thanks for all the treasure in my life. I give thanks for all the treasure. Giving back is such a pleasure. I give thanks for all the treasure in my life.
Our daily word, it's ironic that it's going to be speaking of fellowship and gathering with people and being encouraged and lifted up. But because of the pandemic, that is for many people nearly impossible. So hopefully we can hear this with a spirit of both gratitude and also of taking advantage, whether it's a phone or online, to gather together. Togetherness. I share God's love, peace, and joy. While I treasure my times of quiet and solitude, I also look forward to enjoying the company of family, friends, and members of my faith community. Whether we're working, volunteering, praying, or simply enjoying one another's company, our shared experiences allow me to support people I care about and feel supported in return. I enjoy and value togetherness throughout every season of my human journey. During times of trial, hardship, or grief, being in the company of friends and family helps comfort me and keep me strong. Likewise, during times of celebration, being in the company of others multiplies my joy. In times of togetherness, may the love, peace, and comfort and joy of God bless us all. And from the book of Acts, chapter 2, all who believed were together and had all things in common. We think of the children in our lives. It's always a wonderful time when we're together. Normally, we have several children and we see their spirits. And I want us all to consider children in our own lives or children in general, their vulnerability, yet at the same time their joy, to lift them up, prayer for them, and in any ways that we can learn from them, encourage them as we see them. And now, online, be sure to greet each other, offer a blessing, and enjoy those moments together. And in just a moment or so, a song with an Old Testament theme, River in Judea.
I dream of music, of the river that freely flows, and it sings a song sweeter than honey, one everybody knows. Late at night I hear it singing, then again when I wake at dawn, and it fills me up with hope and goodwill, the will to go on, go on. There is a river in Judea that I heard of long ago, and it's a singing, ringing river that my soul cries out to know. I believe it keeps on traveling, but it rests on the Sabbath day, and the time when it pauses in stillness, I always hear it pray. When I'm weary and downhearted, how I long for the song it sings, for the calm within its gentle blue, the peace that it brings, it brings. There is a river in Judea that I heard of long ago, and it's a singing, ringing river that my soul cries out to know.
This is an opportunity for us to put prayer on the computer and join other people. If you have a particular need, however specific you want to get, or in general, or an affirmation, take some moments right now to do that. And if not, just bring it to mind. And we'll have Surely the Presence sung.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power, joy and grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Thank you, the presence that you're always with us, never apart. Nothing we do, think, or say can separate. It is in our minds just to become aware of that presence. And thank you, you give it to us in abundance. We only see a little and we only imagine a little. Help us to realize how abundant your presence is for us right here, right now. Surely the presence.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power, joy and grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
And in a few minutes, Maryann Hackworth's message will be on prayer. For this meditation, I want to focus on this and how we are all really praying all the time. So let's relax our bodies from our head through our shoulders, our torso, our legs, down to our feet, and take deep breaths. Deep breaths. And imagine yourself, you're just walking, thinking about all sorts of things. You're praying. Look at yourself. Sitting down, you're thinking about some things you hope would happen. You hope work out. You're trying to figure it out. You're praying. You're upset about a situation. You're upset at a person. You're praying. Look at yourself as you really are scientifically. Just a bundle of energy. And a world of energy. But you as a human being have a consciousness, the Christ consciousness, the higher consciousness. And every thought and feeling is a prayer. And then see yourself now, catching yourself, becoming aware, wait a minute, I'm praying. Do I want this? Or wait, I'm praying. I do want this, and I bring my energy and my thoughts to this. And see yourself as a powerful being of energy. And that you have the opportunity to give love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, fruit of the Spirit to yourself and to all around you. Pray not with your thoughts, but with your words, your smile, your body. Now let's take some deep breaths. And with gratitude for prayer that is in us and always in us. And so it is. Well, Maryann Hackworth is going to talk about prayer. And I'm sure there's going to be some creative perspectives and angles. Maryann?
Good morning. What a blessing and an honor it is to be with you here this morning and to be in the company of such great minds and such great talents. We have Jet and the beautiful music, and Philip, service leader, and Mac out there on the technology end. I really am grateful each and every Sunday to come here and give a message, a thought perhaps will be implanted as a seed in your mind. While I was preparing for this message, the reason it came up for me, as the pandemic arose or we became aware of it, I noticed something on Facebook through the friendships that I had, that many people were writing things about prayer. They were praying. They were actually posting prayer, posting affirmative thoughts, acknowledging the suffering, acknowledging the fear, and then bringing forth a renewed fervor, if you will, into the power of prayer. And it really sparked something within me that perhaps that's what we're all looking for as well, is that ability to connect. As Jet sang this morning, the lyrics in the song, "When this world makes you crazy and you've taken all you can bear, just call me up because you know I'll be there." And I know that that song originally was written from a human heart to another human heart, but perhaps it's deeper than that. Perhaps the divine consciousness is what's saying, when you've taken all you can bear, call me up and you know I'll be there. So I had, while I was preparing, I had a friend send me a really interesting article that she had found, probably through Facebook, was posted, and it was entitled Toxic Positivity. And she sent it because she wanted to get my read on it, my insight, and say, what do you think about this? Because often when we're reading things on Facebook, there is a lot of positive things that are written, a lot of little memes and phrases and quotes that are very positive. And the article brought forth the question, is this actually being insensitive to the suffering that surrounds us? So I had to think about that for a minute. And this is what comes forth for me in my response to that. What comes forth is that we're creating our reality through our thoughts. And we know this. This is our expression. Here at Unity, we say it. It is metaphysical to us that the world, the manifest realm, is created through thought. And so there is an advantage, let's say, to bringing forth positive insights and positive quotes. But we cannot be insensitive to one another. If someone walks up to us one day and says, I just lost my business and I'm now bankrupt, it's an inopportune time for us to respond by saying, well, great, you can practice minimalism now. Get rid of everything you own and start fresh. Spirit will bring more into your life now. Don't think of the negative. Because, friends, we don't respond in that way because we understand something very profound, is that we practice heartfelt metaphysic teachings. Heartfelt. We know there are two realms of truth. There's the absolute truth. The absolute truth is the existence in divine mind. It is eternal. Those ideas which are eternally held in the realm of the divine, which are our true essence. They include all of the powers, love, zeal or enthusiasm, wisdom and discernment. That idea of wisdom and discernment will come forth in our response to one another. That's the absolute realm of truth. But while we are in physical, there is something called the relative realm. Relative truth is changing. We have the highs and the lows. We have the good days and the bad. And so those truths which we utter in this relative realm are very real to us. We don't say that this is all an illusion because we are having a physical experience. The Creator created through the divine mind, it created us. It created physicality for the joy of expressing itself in physical. But that doesn't mean that we ignore the fact that people are suffering. And at no time more than now can I think that prayer really does count, that we're drawing ourselves into prayer. And so for this teaching today, I'm drawing upon my class right now I'm taking is called Jesus' Teachings, or the Teachings of Jesus through Unity. And Reverend Jill Andrews is teaching this class, as well as drawing upon the teachings of a gentleman by the name of Emmett Fox. Emmett Fox is a New Thought author, and he lived from 1886 till 1951. He wrote a profoundly important New Thought book called Sermon on the Mount, where he took the teachings of Jesus and really analyzed and studied them as the deeper absolute truths. There's an essay within that book called The Lord's Prayer. And that's what I'd like to talk to you about today, is the Lord's Prayer. First, I'd like to introduce Emmett's statement regarding it. The Great Prayer is a compact formula for the development of the soul. It is designed with the utmost care for the specific purpose, so that those who use it regularly with understanding will experience a real change of soul. I found it interesting when Jet was singing the gospel spiritual, which was so beautiful this morning, and she said, "There's a singing, ringing voice that my soul cries out to know." That river Jordan flowing, is our soul cries out. Perhaps that is prayer, to know this more deeply. Well, what Emmett Fox said is that the prayer that Jesus taught, and remember, that's how he came forth with it. If you want to pray, the disciples asked, how may we pray? He said, do it in this way. So it was a pattern. And if you take each of the lines of the prayer, it's actually affirmative statements. Each line is an affirmative statement that can stand on its own and be used as a prayer in and of itself. So we're going to look at that a little more deeply. Also, I want to tell you there's a gentleman by the name of Dr. Rocco Errico. Dr. Rocco Errico is a profound scholar, really, of Aramaic language and Hebrew language, and he is proficient in each of those languages. So what he did is he took all of the teachings of Jesus that were written in Aramaic, spoken in Aramaic by his disciples, obviously, after the fact. After Jesus left this earth plane, they started writing up the teachings that they were taught, and they're in Aramaic. And so I thought it was really neat. I'd like to share with you. I sent it forth to Mac. We're hoping that it'll come forward. I'd like to begin this message on the Lord's Prayer with Dr. Rocco Errico's Aramaic spoken word of the Lord's Prayer. So Mac, could you run that?
This is the Lord's Prayer, or We also call it the Our Father. This simple and direct prayer composed by Jesus contains the essence of his entire teaching. It is a capsule summary of the message he taught during his ministry, and it is the essential kernel of the Hebrew Bible. The word prayer in Aramaic is the word slotha, and it comes from the root word sla, and it means to set a trap or to lay a snare. This particular style of prayer belongs to a genre known in Hebrew as the short prayer. It doesn't belong to the liturgical form of praying. This short prayer is known for its own style, originality, and variety. When our Lord gave this prayer, it was meant to be a pattern for prayer, that is, suggestions, so that when one prays, it should be short and contain the same ideas that Jesus presented to his disciples in this marvelous prayer. At first, I will pray the Lord's Prayer in its entirety, so you can hear the rhythm and the sound. Awun washmeyan et kadashishmach be'efe malakutach nechwe sewianak et kanad washmeya abbar'a haulan lah masunkana nyaumana washwoklan how bain et kanadav hanan shwakin lakaya wain La ta'lanisiona ella passen min bisha metodi lahi malkutha heilig tishpochta la alam almin. Amen.
So I really enjoyed listening to this. For a few reasons. One, I just never heard Aramaic before. And to realize that our way shower, Jesus' teachings, were spoken in that ancient language was just powerful to me. Often when I see images of Jesus depicted in paintings, they picture him with, blue eyes and honey blonde flowing hair. It reminds me of someone that would be carrying a beach board under his arm. But I realized that 2,000 plus years ago, our way shower walked on this earth as a Jew, and he spoke these words and these truths to us in the language of Aramaic. So the translation is slightly different. It has been tweaked a little bit as it's been passed through the ages. But this Aramaic version, to me, is the most authentic. So let's begin with the first statement. Oh, by the way, Dr. Errico points out that the translation for prayer, the word prayer, is actually snare. A snare. So when Jesus taught this prayer to his followers, he was teaching them the way to manifest by setting a snare, or putting forth an idea in an affirmative way to catch or to capture something. That's kind of powerful. It's written in affirmative fashion. It is not written in a beseeching fashion, but in an affirmative way. So the first statement of the prayer is, Our Father. And from the get-go, Jesus sets forth the identity and our relationship to all that is, to God. Here's what they said. When Jesus refers to God as Father, he is not talking about a male person. He's not talking about any person at all. Rather, he was speaking to the Christ, the divine nature of every human, and he was speaking to the oneness of consciousness. So it is our Father. If we take that single statement and meditate on it for 1 week. And in every moment, every day, affirm our Father, our oneness, our divine consciousness. As we move through our day and we witness things, we hear things in the news, we're disturbed by, we move into our consciousness, our one mind. My translation for Our Father is, God, you are my source, I am your child. The relationship has been established. I am an offspring of this one power, this one consciousness. It is brought forth in that single statement, Our Father. And as we move to which art in heaven, or who art in heaven, this forever locates God. Where is heaven? This question was asked 2,000 years ago. What are you talking about? What is the kingdom of heaven? Jesus answered it. It doesn't lie out in the distance. It doesn't come with signs and fanfare. The kingdom of heaven is within you. How much more direct could his teaching be? And yet through the ages, which art in heaven, or who art in heaven, has been sort of twisted. For me growing up, when I recited the prayer, I envisioned heaven as a place that I would go to when I would physically die. As my body would leave or be finished on this plane and my soul would leave, I would go into heaven. But this isn't the way it was intended. Again, it is an affirmative statement of now. Heaven resides within you. We have within us, in every single moment, the power to go within heaven when we make this statement. Who art in heaven. Our Father, my source, I am your child. I go within you in my consciousness. The third statement in the prayer, in the great prayer, is, hallowed be thy name. Now, hallowed is an interesting word. It actually comes from the root word of whole, healthy, and heal. So this statement that he gave actually means wholeness is your nature. Hallowed be thy name. Wholeness and perfection is your nature. In the absolute realm, in the divine mind that exists, wholeness and perfection is the true nature of God. And remember, we are the offspring of that. And so when we go into this prayer and we affirm wholeness and perfection, we draw it unto ourselves through this affirmative statement. Wholeness and perfection is your nature. I am your child. I am open to receive it. I am setting the snare, and I am capturing what is mine to inherit. The next statement, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Again, growing up as a child, that to me indicated a separation. I wouldn't be able to attain that kingdom of heaven until my physical death. But actually what we are saying is, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Let me manifest in earth, in my life right now. Allow me to manifest thy will, which exists for me now in the divine mind of which I inherit. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven is an affirmative statement. It is occurring as I draw my consciousness upward or inward, any way you look at it. As I align my mind with the divine mind, allow thy will to manifest in my relationships. Allow it to manifest in the work that I do. That is the prayer. My version of that statement is, Let that perfect idea, which I am in spirit, unfold in me and through me. I let your divine will lead me to manifest in the outer that which I am in the inner. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Next line, of course, this is one that they tweaked a bit throughout the ages. As Rocco Errico pointed out, the actual way "Give us this day our daily bread" was written is this: you give us our needful bread from day to day. You give us our bread from day to day. Interesting. One simple word, "you," changes it from a request to an affirmation. You do give us our bread. And the word bread, of course, is substance. By the way, substance is another name for God. Substance exists for us in this divine realm. Substance in all of its forms of physicality. You give it to us. Perpetually, you manifest this day to day, hour to hour, thought to thought. I thought it was kind of funny when I remembered, Philip probably remembers this, but growing up in the 60s or 70s, there was an expression for money which was bread. You got any bread? You know? Or they would say dough. Oh, I'm out of dough, man. I don't have any dough. You got any dough? Got any bread? What were they talking about? Money, substance. Give us this day our daily bread. You give it to us, and you bring forth bread in all of its forms for us. It's an affirmative statement. We could take any of these statements in and of themselves and pray on them. The next one that follows is again one that was tweaked, and it is, forgive us our debts, or forgive us our trespasses as we forgive forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Or forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who have trespassed against us, right? Again, it's written more in a beseeching fashion. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. But see, what Jesus was actually teaching was the great law, the cosmic law, the divine law of give and receive. The reciprocal nature of that which we give is that which we receive. Or another way of putting it, we reap what we sow. And so as I am able to forgive, as I'm able to release thoughts of transgression, as I'm able to let go of resentments and anger and frustrations, as I am able to cleanse that, so too I am cleansed. So too do I receive more of same. Spending time trapped in anger does not free us and bring forth joy and prosperity. It never will, because the cosmic law is working always in our favor. As we give, so we receive. Jesus knew this. He remained in alignment with total forgiveness. Think about all the words of forgiveness that he used in his mission, in his ministry. So my statement, which corresponds with this, I am willing to forgive and I am forgiven. As Reverend Jill put it in her teaching, we push the button and the divine activity of infinite love moves in to cleanse and release. We push the button. We forgive. We bring infinite love in, and it's let go. All the transgressions are freed. Let's practice it. The last line is another one that has sort of been misquoted, I believe. It originally is quoted as, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And Rocco Errico, the actual translation is this: and you let us not enter into materialism, but you separate us from error. You let us not enter into materialism. What I think that means is that we don't want to spend time lost in the dramas of life. Materialism, what is that? Getting lost in our creations, getting lost in the illusions that we're putting forth, or the dramas of life, or getting lost in these thoughts that Philip alluded to earlier in the meditation, how we have thoughts constantly going on. Let us not get lost in these thoughts. Deliver us. Bring us out of it. Erase what is error is evil. Error is considered anything that conceals our goodness. Anything in the relative realm that conceals the goodness that exists for us in the absolute. That aspect of that one line is just asking to be released from that. Don't allow me to be tempted to stay there. As my friend, when she sent the toxic positivity thing forward, it reminded me of this statement: leave me not in temptation, deliver me. I was thinking about how when we get upset with something, when something isn't right in the world or in our own life, how we can become lost in it. And before we know it, we have added unto and encapsulated the goodness that is inside of us by these thoughts that limit our power. Because power, friends, is one of the ideas in divine mind. Power exists for us always. So this prayer says, you guide me from my error thinking. You deliver strength to me. You deliver comfort to me. This doesn't say that when someone has gone through loss, that we don't offer them comfort and don't wrap our arms around them and hug them. And, well, now we can hardly even get to do that. But mentally, we can offer people support. We can offer them our condolences. We can do all those things. And then we can also affirm for them that a higher mind exists in their mind, that they're aligned with this divine mind. And maybe, friends, maybe sometimes you can't actually say that to someone in that moment. Maybe they aren't ready to receive that insight. And time may have to pass before they're ready to hear it, or perhaps we just affirm it for them on our own, which I think is what we're all doing right now as we've looked out in the world and requested prayer. That's what we're doing in our prayer. We're not begging, we're not pleading, we're affirming the divine consciousness exists in humanity. And we're affirming that it's awakening in all of us. There's one line that finishes this prayer, and they point out, all teachers actually point out, that it wasn't part of the original in Jesus' teaching, but it is a nice closer, as they say. Liturgically, it sounds very nice. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. And what it really does, that it is a statement of faith. It is a statement of humility to say, I affirm that God is the goal, God is the means to achieve the goal, and God is the glory of its achievement. Essentially, God, you are all that is. You are it. And my intake on that is, I honor your kingdom, your power, and your glory. You are within me forever, and I honor you. I honor it. I honor myself as an expression, an offspring of the divine mind. I honor you as an expression of the divine mind. And I know that each and every one of us is awakening further. This human heart, this crying out for prayer, is a sign. It is a sign that we're all coming around to it. Our hearts have been opened through our suffering. The final statement, Amen, as we know the real interpretation is, and so it is. And so it is. So I ask as a special little extra blessing this morning is that we have the powerful vocal voice of Jet Downey. And I asked her just a day ago if she would mind singing the Lord's Prayer for us. And I would ask that as you hear these beautiful words and the melody, that you align your mind with the divine mind, the consciousness that you are, and know that this prayer has power, and it is developing your soul and my soul. Our consciousness is growing through it. And I thank you for being with us today. Jet.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen.
I'll take that version over the traditional every day. Thank you so much, Jet. That was beautiful, beautiful. An important part of our life, of course, our energy, our work, our income. And that represents also what we're able to give to Unity Center of Pittsburgh, that we continue this ministry. Because, of course, during this pandemic, so many situations and organizations aren't doing as well, and it's important for us to remember online we can give. Sometimes people are mailing in, but I ask you to be able to give with a spirit of faith and trust that you give us this day our daily bread. You give us, and God will continue to give so that we can give back. And our prayer then, prosperity practice, is divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. And a closing song is Health, Wholeness, Happiness. Fits right in.
Health, wholeness, and happiness. Health, wholeness, and happiness. Praise the good and raise the world. remind everyone to sing at home. Even if you're just there by yourself at your computer, please sing with me. Love, laughter, and letting go. Love, laughter, and letting go. Praise the good and raise the world with love, laughter, and letting go. Wealth, wonder, and willingness. Wealth, wonder, and willingness. Praise the good and raise the world with wealth, wonder, and willingness. Health, wholeness, and happiness. Health, wholeness, and happiness. Come on, Unity. Praise the good and raise the world with health, wholeness, and happiness. Praise the good and raise the world with health, wholeness, and happiness.
Vince Lisi will be our speaker next week. And now our peace song.
Do you mind singing it? Oh, sure. I can sing it. I need some help with this one.
What do you say now?
Sorry.
All right. We're among friends. Now there is peace
On earth, and it has begun with me. Now there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Peace has begun with me, and this is the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. And wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you.